Limit.
Hold on.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the House of the Conqueror. I'm Johnny B. Crazy, and let's get right into it. Westworld Season 3, Episode 5, Genre, aired last Sunday, and here are my thoughts and analysis. The title, genre, means a category of artistic composition, as in music or literature, characterized by similarities in form, style, or subject matter. It describes Caleb's drug trip this episode.
See? Where'd you learn that, Cheech? Drug school.
Shut up, father.
In this week's episode, Caleb has an adventure, Connell sacrifices himself, Rehoboam's backstory is revealed, and humanity is awakened. Speaking of awakened, Stubbs arises from his coma. Let's go into what I saw, and be sure to let me know your thoughts about the episode in the comments below. Bernard ends up being a witness to the beginning of the end. We don't get a whole lot from Bernard this episode, but we do find out he is irreplaceable.
What is real?
That which is irreplaceable.
Giving me the indication that Bernard, at the very least, has the coordinates to virtual Eden, and could even be the key that was in Peter Abernathy. Assuming we need a key, and not just the location of the information, Bernard doesn't know what his role is in Dolores' plan, but he knows there is something he is to be used for. Serac only knows about the 5 hosts, as we saw last episode. Could Bernard be a hidden host, in the sense that his creation is secret to Serac? We have only heard Serac be concerned with Dolores, and Bernard has not come up. Bernard does have a warrant out for his arrest, a supposed human fugitive on the run with the most sensitive information in his brain. A secret, even to him, that wouldn't even come out under conventional torture methods. This would make him the most important puzzle piece in my opinion. He questions Connells about his role. All Dolores will not make it. Matter of fact, I'm calling it now. The original Dolores Abernathy will die. If Bernard can figure out about Hell, I believe they could end up being a reluctant team. Nathan will undoubtedly make him think of Charlie, and Hell has got to be attached to Nathan as well, especially from what we see in the newest trailer. We will just have to wait and see. Bernard gets rescued by Stubbs, who has woke up from his nap. The rescue is ironic because Connells was going to let him go anyway. One important note is that he recovered his button, which I think will benefit Maeve in the long run. We leave Stubbs and Bernard on their journey into day. Caleb got a little present from Liam Dempsey Jr. before he kicked the bucket, in the form of genre, which is a fun cinematic experience, but not the meat of what I want to discuss about our human protagonist. I've linked the behind-the-scenes footage to the episode in the descriptions if you want to know more about Caleb's drug experience. For now, let's see if we can figure out who he is. Is he good, bad, or somewhere in between? What is his story? We will find out this season, but let's hypothesize about it now. He says Liam sent him to war, but this seems to be a false memory, and I think Caleb was a mercenary assassin for Serac. In this episode, Serac threatens to have the president of Brazil killed and replaced, that he had to take out a leader or two for the sake of humanity's future. It seems that Caleb and Francis had to undertake one or more of these missions. Why not use humans that are disposable for these types of operations? I feel it's obvious that's exactly who they would use. People like Caleb and Francis are a threat to society in Serac's mind, and if they died during a secret mission, it would be inconsequential.
Somewhere in this group is an agitator who will destroy the world. I can't let that happen.
Is it Caleb? In my opinion, indirectly, yes. I think he will consciously try to end humanity, but through his choices, the world will fall. This would definitely make Liam nervous of Caleb. Liam gets shot by Ash and lays dying on the beach with Caleb trying to help him. All the while, both are panicking for different reasons. Liam lies dying on the sand, muttering sentences and statements whom the viewers led to believe is about Caleb. While we see Caleb having flashbacks to memories we are not privy to yet. Caleb and another soldier lead a man who is bound and has a sack over his head. We get to see his face, but it's not familiar to me. We also see him in a facility in a stark white room, with equipment all over him, leading us to speculate what is actually going on with Caleb. What was his role before he was a veteran? Is he really a veteran? As I stated before, it seems that Caleb was a hired hitman. He doesn't seem to remember it this way or have a complete memory of events that have transpired. The white room we see Caleb in has to be the same type of place that Serac's brother was in. Did Serac figure out how to control the minds of the unstable? It appears that way, and to think Caleb was a semi-successful project. His memories may have been wiped, or at the very least fragmented, to take away motivation for him to reject the system that Rehoboam has created. Caleb could have been a Manchurian candidate of sorts. This goes back to a CIA program in actual history called MK Ultra, where the government did all types of experiments on subjects including mind control and manipulation. I have a strong feeling that is what we are seeing here. Erasing parts of the mind and memories, giving a clean slate for Serac to remold the brain of his subjects in order for them not to be a threat to humanity as Serac sees it. Remember, Serac only cares about preventing the destruction of humanity, and these types of procedures would not be out of character. In fact, it falls right in line with his personality, and Caleb was for sure one of his victims, so to speak. His mother, for instance, not recognizing him makes more sense, and maybe it's more than just her dementia. Caleb's whole personality could have very well been altered, and that's why she doesn't recognize her son. He does not look different, but acts completely different since returning from his mission and treatment at an Insight compound. Who do you think Caleb really is? Let's discuss this a little more as we talk about Serac. Serac left France with his older brother who protected him, and it seems they came to America to work for Liam Dempsey, Liam Jr.'s father. They started with the Solomon Project, and to put it simply, had to appease a greedy Mr. Dempsey to keep working on their project, which took a little while to develop. Their first major breakthrough was a 15-minute predictive model for the stock market, which made Uncle Pennybags around $90 million. This effectively bought them enough time to finish Rehoboam. Rehoboam doesn't just predict events, it makes a path of its own into the future. However, for this to work as it has been, Serac had to remove the outliers from the equation. Unpredictable and unstable humans have no place in the world Serac wants to build. His brother was one of the outliers, and Serac tried to fix him. Did he figure out how to do this? Well, it seems that Caleb is the test subject, and it was effectively working until Dolores entered the picture. Caleb and people like him have been made to go to war and perhaps even perform assassinations, as I stated previously. They are the expendables, the undesirables. Giggles and Ash, for example, are criminals, but they are predictable in their actions and pose no threat to the future Serac wants to build. Now that humanity has been awoken to the truth, everyone is a liability. Society at its fragile core has been broken down in a nightmare scenario. Serac is so determined to save humanity that he has turned completely sociopathic, not letting anyone or anything get in the way of his goal, as Liam Dempsey found out the hard way. He will use any resources at his disposal, including hosts. We are starting to see the reason he needs Maeve. I will go ahead and say that everything we have seen in Maeve's stories so far has been a simulation. Serac is testing plans of action against Dolores. The other scenario in my mind is that Maeve has died and will be put back in the simulation to interrogate Dolores and study her behavior. Either way, Serac is using her as a tool, and Maeve ain't about that life. She's going to have to use her wits to escape this, and I think Dolores will make her change her mind about helping Serac. We have seen Serac at his most vulnerable throughout this episode. No more so than at the end when Dolores reveals she has learned everything about him. Connell stated earlier that information can be the most powerful weapon. Right now, Dolores has all the ammunition in the world. But a cornered animal is when it's at its most dangerous, and now it's Serac who is seemingly at the disadvantage. We will delve more into Serac's facility as we talk about the implications for the Man in Black. William is going to be going through some treatments while locked up in a prison of his own sins, as well as at the same time losing any semblance of his business, which has been a major part of his identity. We can assume, based on the amount of time we have seen left this season, that his role is going to be much bigger than we have seen currently. The Man in Black is going to use his business knowledge and negotiating skills to get himself out of this facility, but not before submitting to tests and a few alterations, physically and mentally perhaps. I think he will have some memories wiped in order to fix his unstable mind and get the proverbial demons out.
I have exorcised the demons.
He doesn't have the drip like the rest of our human characters, Maybe this, alongside a few other torturous scenes, will change him for the better. Who is to say? Will the Man in Black seamlessly break free from the cage Dolores and one of her Dolori, aka Charlotte, have put him in? How is he going to save the world from Dolores and the Dolori? Dolores has been on a warpath this season. She has an objective and knows how she is going to achieve it. We pick up with Liam, Caleb, and herself fleeing from Serac's goons, and we get some nice action sequences to go along with it. The most heart-wrenching part is when the motorcycle killed itself to save them. In all seriousness, I only bring this up because Dolores seems ready to sacrifice whatever she has to, including herself in the end, as she implied to Serac. This makes me think that Charlotte Hale could possibly be her replacement. Let's put a pin in that for now. She uses Liam's key and has Connells unlock it for her in what was to be his final mission. How expendable are these hosts for Dolores? I would argue that Hale isn't so expendable because it would make sense for Dolores to hang on to one backup. She does have the unused pearl, or the pearl is in someone we have yet to figure out. She has finally broken the loops of all humanity and caused a societal breakdown, the likes in which the world has never seen. She and Caleb are at odds with whether or not humanity should have been exposed to the truth. There's also the fact of explaining how Dolores took all those bullets with no effect. I expect an awkward conversation in the near future. Maybe while she's taking Caleb horseback riding, she'll explain it to him. Caleb needs this backstory to fully believe in what Dolores is doing, and once he finds out what she really is, it will cause an obvious conflict that will leave Caleb with another choice. So, a couple of things I would like to add is Serac's memories as we see them seem to have the symbol for what Maeve's pearl was encapsulated in while she was in the simulation. I will pull those pictures up now so you can see them. Tell me what you think. And also, could Dolores be making a host of Serac? And to what end? Does Dolores know she is going to die? And will Caleb and Dolores die in an almost Shakespearean ending? Couple of questions. Is there free will now, or will the people that know their future end up in the same exact place? Why is Hale the only one having cognitive difficulties? Guilt, I think, Nathan, and a forced loop by Dolores possibly. Is Hale Dolores' successor? Let me know in the comments what you think and how you feel about this episode and the season overall. And that's my take from this week. Join me Sundays immediately after Westworld airs on Before the Dust Settles with Top Shelf Fandom, and every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on the Episode Club with Mackenzie L. Burns. The links are in the descriptions below. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for more content like this. And a very special thank you to all my patrons. Check out my Patreon if you want to support my crazy, but I would rather you at this time get some toilet paper and food. Everybody just be safe out there, and thank you for visiting the House of the Conqueror. I'm Johnny B. Crazy, signing off.